Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Safeguard Insurance Studios. Your hosts, Matt McJunkins and Matt Wilcox, your source for Arkansas high school sports. You are now Between the Mats.
It's a great day here in the American Safeguard Insurance Studio. I am Matt McJunkins. You are Between the Mats. Right alongside me is my man, Matty Stats Wilcox. How you doing, Matty?
What's up, Junk?
Man, did you have a good weekend?
I did, man. I'm just in football euphoria right now.
Oh, I had a buddy last night text me and say, man, football's back.
It's just the best time of the year.
It really is. It really is. Extended weekend with the holiday.
Yeah.
We're recording now on Monday on our day off.
Right.
Good time to just kind of relax and do this.
Talk a little football.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, what a great weekend though. All the way starting Friday.
Man.
Through last night. Got another game tonight.
Awesome. My Panthers pulled out another victory in the Judges Cup.
They did. Took down Valonia.
They did. It was a great ball game, just like it always is.
Well, let me tell you, there was some absolute shows across the state Friday night.
Yes, there was.
I mean, like, wow.
Yeah. Some big numbers put up.
Big numbers, some unbelievable games.
Yeah.
Endings.
Some really surprising scores.
Yeah.
You had it all this week.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. So we're going to break it down, starting with 7A this week.
That's right.
Matty, you want to start us off?
Yeah, you bet. I'll start us with 7A this week. All right. So last week, our top 10 in 7A, we had Bryant won. Their game got canceled against Denton Ryan, I guess, due to the weather.
I guess it rained, maybe some lightning down there in Shreveport.
I'm sure they were pretty disappointed.
Did you see they were playing in Shreveport?
Yeah, I did see that. So that one got canceled, so no contest for Bryant. We had Conway at 2. Conway beat Bentonville 44-34 in a good ball game there. Bentonville was 3. They lost to Conway. Cabot was 4. They beat Bentonville West 34-10. Fayetteville we had at 5. They won against North Little Rock 28-10. Northside, man, what a ball game that was. They had Greenwood down on the ropes pretty much the entire ball game, but lost in a Hail Mary effort 56-53.
I think they were up 11 points. With, I guess, when they finally scored, it was 15 seconds. So with a little more than 15 seconds left, they were up 11 points.
Wow, that's hard to stomach there. Number 7, we had Bentonville West. Like I said, they lost to Cabot 34-10. 8, North Little Rock. 9, we had Harbor. They lost to Bixby, Oklahoma 59-0. And then Rogers rounded out our top 10 last week, and they won against Bishop Kelly 49-21. So our new top 10 for week 2, we've got the Bryant Hornets at number 1. They will play an interesting ball game this week. Going to War Memorial Stadium playing the Parkview Patriots.
You know, it's so interesting that Parkview has moved down to 5A and may have the best team they've had. I mean, they were good last year.
They were good last year, but they're just
loaded.
Yeah. Number 2, Conway. Big win for Conway last week against Bentonville, pulling out the victory 44-34. They go to Springdale, go to Northwest Arkansas, and play Springdale this week.
I kind of think that might have been the game of the week.
Yeah.
That Bentonville Conway. Yeah. I mean, it was. We didn't get to see it, but it looked like it was as advertised.
Sure. Yeah.
Just a good, hard-fought football game, and I think we both thought Cabot was the better. I'm sorry, Conway, and that's the way it played out.
Yeah, that's right. Number 3, we actually moved Cabot up to number 3 this week. Had a little discussion going back and forth on whether we thought Cabot or Bentonville should take that 3rd spot. Just an impressive win going to Bentonville West and beating them 34-10. So we've moved Cabot to number 3. They do not play this coming week. Number 4, we do have Bentonville. Like I said, lost to Conway. They're off this week as well. Number 5, Fayetteville. Beat North Little Rock 28-10, and they're at Northside, so that'll be a good ball game this week.
I kind of expected Fayetteville to beat that North Little Rock team a little more, but at the same time, I bet you after that loss in week 1 to not Jonesboro, who was it that beat North Little Rock?
Last week was North Little Rock first week, Catholic.
Catholic, yeah. I figure after that, some things probably changed around the house at North Little Rock.
I'm going to say Coach Sanders forgot him a little bit.
That probably a different team week 2.
Yeah. All right, and then number 7, we've got Rogers, who's 2-0 in the season, and we'll play a very good 5A Farmington bunch this week. 6 was Northside. Sorry, I skipped over that. Fayetteville was 5, Northside 6. They'll play each other this week. 7 was Rogers. They play Farmington. 8, we got Bentonville West, and they will play at Little Rock Central this week. Number 9, North Little Rock. They will not play. And number 10, Southside moves into our top 10. They beat Van Buren 47-32, and will play a good 5A win team this week.
You know, it's funny. And before week 0, I think you had Northside in your top 10, and I had Southside at about the 10 spot. And they played. Northside beat them, and I thought, well, I may have kind of overshot with Southside. Well, it may just be that Northside's that good.
Sure. All right, well, take us into 6A, my man.
All right, 6A. This is Matt's new conference or new class since the Panthers of Greenbrier have been moved up there, along with two of the best schools in the state.
That's right.
So the 6A, which was already a team or a class full of juggernauts, just got juggernautier.
That's a word.
That's a word. So we started off last week with Pulaski Academy at number 1. No shocker there. They go over to Mississippi and play that Madison Ridgeland Academy, come out with a win. I feel like that was probably a really, really good football team.
Yes.
Based on their history. So I think it just speaks even more to how good PA is. And
you know what's really impressive to me, not only did they beat a good football team, but to go out of state on the road and still be able to perform. You know, we're talking about 17, 18-year-old kids here.
Right.
You know, staying in a hotel room, and it's just a different thing that you're doing. You're not at home sleeping in your bed. You're not jumping on the yellow bus and going to play somebody. Right. So just to be able to go out of your comfort zone, but still be able to focus and play good football.
Oh, yeah. They probably didn't get to eat at Ryan's like we used to.
No, probably not. Some of them good old rolls.
Yeah. All right. Or a good Western sizzling. Usually, yeah.
That's right.
Number 2, Greenwood. You know, that was a great instant classic, I guess you'd call it. But it showed maybe that Greenwood was susceptible.
Sure.
I mean, let's be honest. You take away some crazy things at the end of the game, they just got beat.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, first of all, they had to get the onside kick to even have a chance, which, you know, not very good odds on that.
Then you catch a ball on about the 5-yard line and get in the end zone on a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That should have never happened.
Should never happen.
But, hey, how about Kane Archer?
Man, it's impressive.
You know, he's been touted. It's not a shocker.
Sure.
But it is impressive to see him come in after it appears that Houston may have had got knocked around a little bit.
Right. Yep.
And so got Archer an opportunity to play, and he did well. So be interesting to see those two moving forward and probably sharing a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
But, man, Greenwood's still going to be –
hey, winners win.
That's right. They, on the schedule, it goes down as a W.
Yeah.
And if they go out and win the rest of the season, it'll still look like they lost one game of the season.
That's right. Yep.
So, Benton number 3 didn't play. Christian number 4. Let me tell you, they turned some heads Friday night. Let me tell you, if you weren't a believer in Christian, you might want to get on the bus because that Walker White's, from what I understand, is a complete different quarterback than he was. Not that he wasn't a good quarterback as a sophomore, but he's now a junior and just really maturing. Well, you saw that with Cooper when he was at Greenbrier. I mean, this kid started mid-season his sophomore year.
That's right.
Junior year, you could see, man, he's making a lot of great plays, but he's got a little bit of that still to learn.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And then he comes back as a senior after working hard and just really shines.
That's right.
And I think that's what you're seeing there with Walker White. But expect to see them deep. Man,
I tell you, I totally missed on that game. I thought that was going to be a heck of a ball game, and Little Rock Christian just had their way with them. They
really did from the get-go. Number 5, this is another one kind of shocked about. And to be fair, we didn't really know what to think because we hadn't seen them. But El Dorado was number 5, and they lost a game to Camden Fairview, who is a good football team, but did just lose to a 4A Arkadelphia the week before pretty handedly.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that Arkadelphia game, there was a lot of cramping issues.
Oh, really?
With Martavius and some others.
Okay.
Played a big role probably.
Yeah.
Number 6, the Catholic Rockets. Oh, no, sorry. 6 is Lake Hamilton.
Yep.
They beat Jonesboro, not impressively. Kind of expected with Jonesboro's season the way it's gone so far. Expected that to be a bigger win, but the Crushmer kid had a great game.
Great ball game.
So we'll, like I said, a W's a W. Number 7 is the Catholic Rockets. They didn't play. We'll get to see them back in action this week. Number 8, West Memphis. Did not play. Number 9, Sylvan Hills, did not play. And then I got number 10, Marion, did not play. Unless I missed something. So that gets us to this week. I just want to say Pine Bluff did play their first game and beat Central 38-6.
Yep.
Good showing down there for the Zebras.
Absolutely.
We'll see maybe how they do moving forward with some opportunity in the bottom half of that 6A top 10.
That's right.
So this week, number 1, PA, they go to Russellville. Number 2, Greenwood, they play Mountain Home at home. Little Rock Christian at Lake Hamilton, maybe your game of the week right there. Really interested to see how that one goes. Number 4, Benton versus Sylvan Hills. This one here could be a game. Interested to see. We get to see how Benton matches up against their own conference, and then we get to see, is Sylvan Hills going to be a threat to anybody this year. Number 5, Catholic at Greene County Tech. A Greene County Tech team that's good. Could be an interesting matchup there. Number 6, Lake Hamilton, as we just said, plays home against Little Rock Christian. Number 7, El Dorado at Marion. If El Dorado, if they continue to struggle, that game against Marion could be tough.
Yeah.
Number 8, West Memphis plays at Jacksonville. Number 9, I've got Pine Bluff in there. Number 9, they'll play at Watson Chapel. Watson Chapel, the team that in week 1 really beat down Arkansas High over at Texarkana.
Yeah.
And then this week they got beat, but they got beat to a Ouachita Christian team down in West Monroe that is a powerhouse. Number 10, Sylvan Hills. They will play Benton at home.
All right. Very good, very good. And that'll take us into 5A. 5A is a classification that is loaded with good teams. So when we were filling out our top 10, we had a tough time with 5A.
Man, it should have been like a top 13.
That's right. That's right. So last week in our top 10 in 5A, we had Parkview number 1. They did not play. Robinson number 2. They won 28-0 against Forest City. Shiloh Christian, as we talked about earlier, lost 49-14 to Little Rock Christian. Number 4, Harrison won 20-7 against Mountain Home. Their crosstown rivalry there.
Did you see that defense in that?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Number 5, Wynn did not play. 6, Nettleton won 26-21 against Pocahontas. Number 7, Magnolia won 49-6 at Crossett. Farmington won against a 7A Springdale team 38-20. It's an impressive victory there.
Yes.
Number 9, Alma won 38-7 against Siloam, and number 10, Maumelle 35-0 at Batesville. So this week our top 10 for 5A.
Hey, just let me say, I have no idea what's going on with Batesville.
I know it. It's crazy. It's hard to read. I mean,
we might beat a 6A team. We might lose to a team that's lost half their team and,
right.
trying to rebuild.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. So this week, top 10 in 5A. Number 1, Parkview. They will have probably the toughest challenge on their schedule this week as they play the Bryant Hornets. Be a really interesting ball game. I'm just kind of excited to see how they stack up talent-wise against Bryant. Number 2, Robinson, who beat Forest City 28-0. That Robinson game, I thought that would be a little bit bigger margin of victory there. So a little bit question marks on Robinson coming out of the gate, but they'll get better. They'll continue.
And you just never know a game plan. When you get up,
sure,
what are you doing?
Sure, that's right. Number 3, we moved Harrison, the Golden Goblins, to 3 this week. Impressive win against Mountain Home, and they will play that Batesville team that we just talked about. So not really sure what to expect there. Let's see here. Number 4, who have I got for?
Farmington.
Yeah, Farmington, the Cardinals. Big win, and then they go to another 7A school this week against Rogers. And so Rogers undefeated this year so far, so we'll be able to tell a little bit about both of those teams.
And Rogers has scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see that because that Farmington defense is pretty special.
Yeah, that defensive line was they were impressive.
Flew to the football, really, really good.
Number 5, we got the win. Yellow Jackets at 5, no stranger to the top 5 in 5A. They will travel to Fort Smith take on the South Side this week.
They just run the ball and win.
That's it. That's what they do, and good defense.
Yes.
Number 6, Magnolia beat Crossett in a 49-6 decisive victory there. They will not play this week. And then number 7, Maumelle moves up in our top 10 there with a good win against Batesville, and they'll play Whitehall. Number 8, Camden Fairview, who beat the defending 6A champions El Dorado 39-21. They're at Dollarway. Number 9 is a team that we haven't had in our top 10 yet this year. Little Rock Mills with an impressive win, beat Forest City 58-12, and they'll play BB at BB.
I just want to say this, Mills, if you're listening. Last year you did this to us.
You did.
You come out the gate swinging, and we put you up there, and then you fell off.
Yeah.
The defense was a problem for them last year,
was.
but it appears this year they're playing defense.
That's right.
So, hey, I'm impressed. Don't let me down.
All right, and another top 10 team to make our top 10 for the first time this season, the Alma Airedales. So led by Landon Trusty. Is it Landon or is it Joe Trusty?
It's Landon.
Landon Trusty.
Yeah. No. Landon Trusty was the kid that played it.
Yeah, I think it's his son, though.
Yeah.
I think it's Joe.
So the girl that works here is their cousin.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll be dang.
Marissa.
So he's a heck of a quarterback. They beat Siloam
it's
38-7. 38-7 last week, and they will play Pryor, Oklahoma this week. That'll be all for our top 10.
Isn't Landon a coach?
I'm not sure. I know
have
he
to
was
ask
officiating for a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that. He was in the state championship game maybe last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
That's right. So maybe that's, yeah. Okay. Hey, I just want to say Maumelle has impressed me.
They have.
To lose the caliber athletes they lost, and then also I wasn't really sold on Magnolia after they kind of were down last year when they should have been good.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think that week 1 win was so good against Nashville. But my thoughts have changed.
Well, I saw an interview or I read something where Coach King said that they had the best off season, the best fall camp that they've ever had since he's been there. So
they've got athletes most schools would kill to have.
That's right. All right, take us into 4A, my man.
All right, so the Badgers, we had them at number 1, and they ran into a little bit of a hiccup Friday night. I had them picked by 28.
Yeah.
I thought they would just absolutely handle Hot Springs. To Hot Springs' defense, they played well.
They did.
Man, they flew around. I watched this game on TV, and they flew around the field, made it hard on them. But the kids are winners at Arkadelphia.
Man.
Donovan Witten, I thought, man, he really didn't have that great of a game. And then you see his stats.
Yeah.
You're like, well, yeah, he did. But, when it came down to it, I was telling somebody, it looked like they kind of just played flat.
Yeah.
But then in the fourth quarter when it was time to win, they did.
They turned it on.
They did. And he, he's special. Mm-hmm. And he's real good. And, he just let them down there, and they won and then went for 2. And I'm thinking, oh, no, don't lose this right here.
Right.
It was like they had no concern whatsoever.
That's awesome.
Hit Carter Babb on a little out just past the goal line.
Yeah.
No problem.
I'll be dang.
So they handled. Hey, like you said, it counts as a W, and that's all anybody ever sees.
That's right.
So number 2, Harding Academy beat Camden Harmony Grove 41-14.
Man.
Harding Academy is going to be hard for anybody to deal with offensively, especially.
It's an impressive win.
Yeah. Whoever beats them, it's going to be a high-scoring game if they lose.
Right.
Number 3, Stuttgart. Well, they lost to a good Star City team. This Star City team has really grown on me. I'm a believer. Lost 45-35. Number 4, Warren. They beat Whitehall 28-23. That's a solid win there.
Yeah.
Number 5, Ozark. Got shut out by Booneville. Booneville, a good football team, but you hate to see a team not score against a class lower.
Right.
Star City beat Stuttgart. We mentioned Rivercrest, number 7. They lost to Mills, which, we just put Mills in that top 10 for 5A.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge loss, but it is a loss. Number 8, Ashdown beat DeQueen 45-0. Kind of expected that. Yeah. Waldron, number 9. They lost to a Lamar team 20-14. I got a little bit of a question mark beside Lamar. Kind of curious. Might be interesting to see how their season continues to go. And then Malvern. I blew this one.
Me too.
I thought Glen Rose was going to kind of upset them.
Yeah.
59-20. Malvern got it done.
in a
opened some eyes.
Big way.
You bet. So that's this week. Well, let me just mention this too. So Nashville beat Hope 74-42, and that obviously 42 points is not a great defensive. Of course, it's hard. It's when you're scoring that much, it's hard on your defense.
Absolutely.
But after I judged Magnolia by their win over Nashville. I didn't think Nashville was as good this year, but I'm starting to be a believer in Nashville, and I'm really a believer in Magnolia after their win Friday night. So, also Pocahontas, they weren't in our top 10. They beat Southside 28-7, then lost to Nettleton Friday night, a 5A that we had in our top 10. Lost to them by 5. So there's a few teams, and then we hadn't seen McGee play yet.
Right.
But right now in week 2, we got number 1. We're going to stay with Arkadelphia. They're going to play Arkansas High at home. Expect them to win that game. Number 2, Harding Academy. They're going to get a rest this week after 2 big wins. Number 3, Stuttgart at Crossett. Number 3, Star City at Crossett. Number 4, Stuttgart. They'll be playing Newport at home. So the number 5 is Warren, and they're off. So we've got 3, 4, and 5. These 3 teams have played one or another. So Stuttgart beat Warren, Star City beat Stuttgart, but they were all close games.
Yeah, and then Star City plays Warren next week.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
So we're really going to know.
Yeah.
So number 6, Ashdown, they play at Hope. Number 7, Malvern plays Lakeside at home. Number 8, Nashville plays DeQueen at home. Rivercrest, number 9, they play Valley View at home. That could be a pretty strong matchup there. And then number 10, Pocahontas plays Brooklyn at home. Another team that we need to keep our eyes on is that Gosnell team that's 2-0. And Clinton's 2-0 up there.
Yeah, that's right. A big win over, was it Heber?
Heber Friday night, yep.
All right, so 3A last week in 3A, our top 10. We had Boonville at number 1. They beat Dollarway 36-6. No, I'm sorry. They beat Ozark 28-0.
Yep.
Prescott, they did not play, and they're at Fordyce this week. Charleston beat Elkins 42-22. Number 4, Glen Rose took it on the chin to Malvern 59-20. Camden Harmony Grove lost to Harding Academy 41-14, which we had talked about, and that's a big loss. But I think Harding is just a lot better. That offense just gives teams so many problems that it's just going to be hard to keep them off the scoreboard.
Oh yeah.
Number 5, Melbourne beat Lone Oak, which that's an impressive win for Melbourne. Beat them 34-33. Number 7, Newport. Newport lost to BB 28-26. BB is a classification, 2 classifications ahead of them, so pretty impressive battle there for Newport. Number 8, Rising beat Bismarck 34-31. A good contest there. Number 9, Magnet Cove lost to Fordyce 42-24. And then number 10, Fordyce beat Magnet Cove 42-24. So this week, our new top 10 in 3A, we have Boonville number 1, Prescott number 2. They're at Fordyce. That'll be a good ball game there.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. Number 3, Charleston is at home against Ozark. Number 4, Melbourne will play Cave City. Number 5, Newport will play at Stuttgart. Number 6, Rising will play at home against Dardanelle. Number 7, Fordyce at Prescott, sorry, did it again. It's only 3 years, and I still don't have it. Number 8, Camden Harmony Grove at Haynesville, Louisiana. Number 9, Glen Rose does not play. And number 10, Gurdon, the Go Devils, will play at Dirks.
Hey, those Go Devils.
They're in the top 10.
Yeah, they are. Playing some good football. All right, that gets us to 2A. Boy, had a shake-up here.
Man, well, did we ever.
We knew Hazen was good. They were number 1. They played number 2, Desart.
Right.
It wasn't even close.
We expected it to be just a knockdown, drag-out.
Well, you would think it would be at least somewhat of a game.
Competitive. Yeah.
You don't want to see 0 on the scoreboard.
No, sir.
And Hazen beat Desart 52-0. So we had Hazen at 1, Desart at 2. Number 3, Mount Ida beat McCrory 20-14. That says a lot about McCrory. That was a team that won the state championship last year, and a lot of people had fallen off this year because they lost so much.
Right.
But hey, when you're hanging in there with the number 3 team, Says a lot about you. Number 4, Bigelow beat England 35-6. I think a lot of people thought Bigelow was going to be down this year because they graduated so many seniors, but they still like to play good football over there.
That's right.
Number 5, Episcopal lost to Smackover 8-6. Let me tell you, Smackover team's not bad.
Yeah.
I've been watching them a little bit, and they're in a tough conference down there, but don't be shocked if they don't end up in a playoff, and at least they're going to play a lot of good games this year.
Yeah.
Number 6, McCrory, we just mentioned, lost to Mount Ida by 6. Number 7, Mark Tree. This is a team here that I think I've been sleeping on. I think I woke up a little this week after kind of just looking over them more, even though they didn't play. They're going to be hard to beat. Number 8, Clarendon. They beat Barton by 10, 24-14. I think Barton's a little better this year.
Mm-hmm.
Did they move up, I guess?
I think so.
Man.
Yeah. It's tough.
It is tough.
Because it was a couple years ago they didn't have.
They barely had filled a team.
That's right.
Number 9, Carlisle. They beat Decatur 68-0. Let me tell you, they're playing some ball over there in Carlisle. Number 10, we had Poen. They beat Hampton 20-14. Hampton's not a bad team, but you kind of expect your top 10 team to handle that a little more. So I'm not sold on Poen yet. Of course, they're going to be good. They're good every year. Just want to mention Dirks. They beat a 3A Falk by 2 weeks ago, and then this week they beat another 3A, Horatio, 48-12. So they're starting off pretty good over there in northern Howard County. While in southern Howard County, the Mineral Springs Hornets started off big win on Jesseville. Let me tell you, Mineral Springs was not ranked to be very good this year.
Sure.
Lost your coach in the spring, but picked up a good one with was it Jason Hathcote? Is that right? Did I say his name right?
You said Jason earlier. I'm not sure on the last name.
That's right. I've never met him personally, but this guy he's the one he helped turn Lafayette County around, and so I mean he's the real deal.
And then Mineral Springs will play Smackover this week, right?
They will. They will. So, but this week they played Falk Friday night. And they got beat by 6. They were up in that game early, too. And I thought, man, if they could pull that off, that'd be a huge win. Because you're talking about a program that really struggled for quite some time and used to be a powerhouse. Yeah. And they ended up losing, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is a team that Derek's beat by 2. And so you're talking – that according to that, there's not a big gap there. Right. So we may have Mineral Springs may have a really good opportunity this year to be a real contender in the conference.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, so let's get over here to the top 10s that we got this week. All right, number 1, Hazen versus Clarendon this week. That's a big game. 2-0 versus 2-0. Top 10 teams. Number 2, Mount Ida versus Jesseville. Number 3, Bigelow versus Perryville. Perryville's 2-0.
Yeah,
they're having a good season.
Yeah,
I don't think they can beat the Panthers.
That's a big rivalry there.
That is a big rivalry. That's just down the road.
Yep.
McCrory, number 4, they get moved up after their close loss to Mount Ida. They play Hector. Hector's struggling a little bit.
They are.
They did end up in a tie with Quitman Friday night, but 2 weeks ago they got handed a pretty big loss. Number 5, Mark Tree plays Jackson Central. Number 6, Clarendon at Hazen. Not going to be a good week for Clarendon, I'm afraid.
I don't know if anybody can play with Hazen right now.
They're good.
My goodness.
With Luke King, that quarterback, he's special.
Yeah.
Number 7, Carlisle, moving on up the ranks. I love it too because their coach over there is a good friend of mine, Caleb Schock. They play Cross County at home. Number 8, EPC. This is a team I kind of slept on a little bit, but I think they're probably pretty salty.
Yep.
They're going to play Walnut Ridge at home. A Walnut Ridge team that's 2-0.
They beat Manila 42-0, and you look back at just a year ago, and I think Manila handled them pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Number 9, Episcopal. They play at Murfreesboro, the Rattlers. Number 10, the Dirks Outlaws, which they are 2-0, and they have made their way into our top 10. Play a Gurdon Go Devil team who's also 2-0. Could be a interesting matchup.
Yeah.
If Dirks can pull that one off, it really confirms their position in the state.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, that's our top 10s for going into week 2. And now we're going to touch on some player highlights. It's one of our favorite segments of the show. We get to spotlight some of these kids that had spectacular weeks.
You know, Matt, this is why we did this.
That's right.
You look back to 3 years ago. Why did we start this? We wanted an opportunity, or we wanted to give these kids an opportunity for exposure.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I will kick us off over in Harrison. Mason Ketterman was 8 for 12 for 95 yards and a touchdown, and Braden Long had 28 rushes for 169 yards and a touchdown, and that Harrison defense held Mountain home to 149 total yards of offense.
It's like 35 or 40 yards of rushing.
Wow.
I mean, it was incredible.
That's stout.
Lake Hamilton's Justin Crutchmer, we mentioned him a while ago. In that win over Jonesboro, he had 5 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown, 5 catches for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Wow.
He was tired.
Pretty impressive there. In Smackover, Tanner Mitchell had 11 tackles, 6 of those for a loss, and 2 sacks.
Love those defensive numbers.
He played in their backfield most of the night.
Yeah, hope he doesn't do that at Middle Springs. Hey, Little Rock Christians, Walker White, and their big win Friday night. 15 for 24, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns. 10 carries, 86 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
What a night.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ronnie Anoke from Little Rock Christian, 27 carries, 116 yards, 1 touchdown.
In Cabot, Abe Owen was 6 of 11 for 124 yards. Avion Jimerson had 18 carries for 139 yards.
All right, that gets us down here to Yellville Summit, right?
Yes, sir.
So we had Braden McCalla, Yellville Summit, 3 forced fumbles. Land Keeter, 114 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. I hope that wasn't supposed to be Landon and I didn't write it right.
I'm glad you got that name this week. All right, Arkadelphia. This is the second time I get to call this guy's name. Donovan Witten, another spectacular performance by him. We're big fans of Donovan and his dad over there in Arkadelphia. 293 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, 138 yards on the ground. Great game and a great win by
He's a winner.
By Arkadelphia. His teammate Carter Babb, game-winning 2-point reception.
Yeah, Landon Wolf at Warren, 11 carries, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns.
In Greenland, Max Meredith, 4 touchdown passes, and Brandon Vaughn had 3 touchdown catches.
Let's see here. Pum Savoy. I hope I'm saying that right. Over at Northside. 256 yards passing, 160 yards rushing.
Great game there.
Yeah.
In Conway Christian, Grayson Wilson, 21 of 31 for 219 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 50 yards rushing.
Over in Fayetteville, Kaylon Morris, 200 yards receiving. It's actually a little over 200 yards receiving, I think, and like 198 in the first half. Great game for him. Drake Lindsay at Fayetteville, 386 yards passing for 4 touchdowns.
Wow. Jabray Shaw, who's a D1 athlete over at Mills, had 3 touchdown carries in that ball game.
And Farmington, Cameron Van Zant was a kid we've seen play a couple years now and is special. He's good. He was 11 for 13, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Brandon Scott in Charleston, we've called this name a bunch last year. 10 of 15, 176 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He also had 16 carries for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow. Austin Wilkerson from Star City. Listen to this, Matt. There's so many acronyms here. I don't know if I can keep them. 87-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. 54-yard kickoff return. 57-yard pick 6. And I want to say 3 pass breakups. I think it's 3 pass breakups.
Very good.
And then DeJuan Haney from Star City, 12 tackles, 2 interceptions. Mason Taylor from Star City, 17 carries, 238 yards, 3 touchdowns.
That's a good ball
huge
game. Over in Nashville, Sloan Perrin, 13 carries for 211 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was also 9 of 13 passing for 142 yards and a touchdown. Carmelo Jones, 13 carries, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns, and great ball game for those 2 fellas there in Nashville.
You bet. Garyon Curry from Magnolia. We saw this kid a couple years ago light it up. 155 yards rushing.
Over in Greenwood, shout out to 9th grade phenom Kane Archer for his debut in varsity football. Had 4 touchdown passes, including the game-winning one, and that was all in the second half.
Conway, big win Friday night over Bentonville, and a couple of guys that were huge in that win is no surprise here with Donovan Amalo, quarterback, 16 for 28 passing, 242 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then Boogie Carr, special running back over there at Conway, 21 carries, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 catches, 86 yards.
And I believe he's committed to play at Ouachita, so they're getting a good one there.
And they're getting one that maybe, if it wasn't probably his size, he would be a D1.
Yeah. Over in Bentonville, Josh Ficklin, 33 carries for 137 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Jalen Dupree at Malvern, huge win Friday night. Jalen Dupree, 13 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. Cedric Simmons, 8 for 12, 217 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. 10 carries, 70 yards, rushing with 3 touchdowns. Huge night there. Dante Cagle at Malvern, 2 carries, 123 yards. That's pretty good yards per carry. 2 touchdowns on that, too.
Wow. Over in Hamburg, Willis Robinson, 16 carries for 159 yards, and Brent Holland had 2 interceptions, one of those for a touchdown.
Kyle Ferry at Harding Academy. I got a video of this.
Man,
it was awesome.
It was so cool.
56-yard field goal.
You just don't see that.
You
very
don't
much.
see that. No, I mean you're talking less than 10 yards from world record.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know what the record is anymore.
It's mid-60s, isn't it? I didn't get any stats for Harding Academy Friday night other than that.
Okay. Over in Robinson, Noah Freeman had 10 carries, 145 yards, 2 catches for 22 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
All right, Shamar Easter, a name that we've talked about a lot the last couple of years at Ashdown, tied in there. Tied in, but he had a 68-yard touchdown run.
Very nice. It's Southside. Isaac Gregory had 18 carries for 202 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I've got a couple here that I'm going to mention that they're actually nominees for our Faulkner County Player of the Week. Frankie Fennell from Mayflower had an interception, returned for 47 yards, also had a sack that he forced the fumble, picked up the fumble, ran for 56 yards, and then also had 5 solo tackles and 2 assisted tackles. Over in Greenbrier, Matthew Bernard had 6 tackles and 2 big interceptions. And then Cooper Johnson, Conway Christian, had 4 carries for 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 42 yards and a touchdown.
That was Faulkner County Player of the Week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those are our nominees for this week.
Awesome. Did you get Southside there?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Okay. Did you get Carter?
No, I didn't get it.
All right, so let me tell you about Carter. There's a couple we added because we didn't have a lot of stats on some of these. But Carter McElhaney in Greenbrier, he had 15 carries for 70 yards, 6 catches for 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Greenbrier's win over Bologna Friday night. He's just pretty doggone good.
Man, it's just unless you are down on the field and can see it in person, it's just hard to explain how fast that little sucker is.
And I tell you what surprises me. I don't say maybe that's not fair. What impresses me compared to who he was last year is how physical he is.
I agree.
You know, 100%. He was not a physical receiver last year. Right. He was fast.
Yeah.
But this year, like you're not going to get him down unless you wrap him up and take him to the ground.
Yeah, I mean he's gained several yards after contact this year. So
I got one more to share.
Okay.
Jason Sullivan at Carlisle, 4 carries, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. He touched the ball 4 times. He had 205 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not a bad day.
And it's like he had a reception for 29 yards. It's like, why even mention that? Right?
Yeah.
That's just kind of whatever.
All right. So that will bring us into our picks going into week 2.
Oh, I meant to tell you. Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Daddy's home.
That's terrible.
Daddy's home. Junk Vegas is now in the lead after it's actually our first week, our week 1 of picks. And
no, we tied.
Oh, that's right. So we tied week 0.
Yeah.
Week 1, I was 18 for 25, and Matt was 17 for 25. So I'm a C student, he's a D student.
And the Hail Mary got me beat too.
That's right. That's what's so funny is the Hail Mary, literally, you picked Northside.
That's right.
And the Hail Mary beats you.
It did.
That's good stuff.
All right, so I'm 1 down going into week 2. Our games of the week will start out number 1, Perryville at Bigelow.
I got Bigelow by 8.
I got Bigelow by 1.
Okay.
I almost went with Perryville with this one, but I went with the home team here and went with Bigelow.
You know, I like Perryville. I'm pulling for them.
Yeah.
You know, they're just over there. I got a good friend over there, the superintendent there, or the principal. Sorry, but I think Bigelow's just going to be a little bit too much for them.
Number 2, Walnut Ridge at EPC. I've got EPC by 3.
I got them by 12.
Okay. Number 3, Gurdon at Dirks. I've got the Go Devils by 13.
I got Gurdon by 7.
Number 4, Clarendon at Hazen. Top 10 matchup, not really sure. I think Hazen's just a little bit better than everybody in that classification, so I'm going to go Hazen by 17.
I got Hazen by 18.
Okay.
I thought you were fixed to tell us why, or trying to explain why you had Hazen by like 2.
No. Number 5, Newport at Stuttgart. I've got the Ricebirds by 7.
I got Stuttgart by 12. I think they'll handle this one.
Okay. Number 6, Osceola at Gosnell. I've got Gosnell by 3.
Boy, I didn't know what to do in this one. I went ahead and went with Gosnell by 2, but
Okay.
I just don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to read. They're 2-0 on the season, but not really sure. Number 7, Ozark at Charleston. I've got Charleston by 10.
I got Charleston by 14. I think after seeing Booneville, 28 points, shutting them out Ozark, I think Charleston will show up.
Yeah.
What'd you say, 10?
10, yeah. Number 8, Gentry at Quitman. Even though I love Coach Mars over at Quitman, I'm going to have to go against him this week. I've got Gentry by 3.
Well, I got the Quitman Bulldogs by 6.
I figured you might.
They're going to have a little salty taste in their mouth after that tie Friday night.
Right.
Apparently, he was not in favor of.
Well, how does that work?
So I understand there has to be an agreement
Between the two coaches?
or at least that's what was explained.
Okay.
And he says, "Hey, not only did I not agree, I got video and audio showing.
Wow.
I hadn't heard it or seen it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I tend to believe him.
Sure.
I like him, but he was not happy with leaving with the tie.
Well, here's there should never be a sport that ends in a tie.
Never, ever, ever. Even soccer doesn't end in ties.
I mean, you play a game to have a winner and a loser. It's not
100%.
You're not supposed to play to tie. Like it's
no. It should. I mean, it shouldn't be a real thing. Like the game's not over.
That's right.
Nobody's won.
You might as well not even play.
That's right.
All right, so I had Gentry by 3. You went with Quitman there. Number 9, we got Prescott at Fordyce. I'm going Prescott by 14.
I got Prescott by 8.
Okay, number 10, Dardanelle at Rising. Excited to see the outcome of this ball game. I think it's going to be a great game. I do have the Sand Lizards by 3.
I just knew you were going to pick Rising. I also picked Dardanelle.
Did you now?
I won.
All right, number 11, Clarksville at Elkins. Clarksville classification bigger than Elkins here. I'm going with the Elks by 6.
I've also got them by 6.
Okay, number 12, Prairie Grove at Gravette. I'm going Prairie Grove by 3.
I got Prairie Grove by 17. I think this team's going to turn some heads.
Okay, number 13, Valley View at Rivercrest. I'm going to go with the smaller classification school here, and I'm going Rivercrest by 6.
Valley View's already lost to a 4A school this year, and it was a really good one.
Yeah, it was.
It was a 15-point loss. I don't think Rivercrest can do the same.
Okay.
I'm going with Valley View by 3. Did you go Rivercrest 6?
I did.
Okay.
Number 14, Lamar at Dover. I'm going Lamar by 4.
I've got Lamar by 18 in this one.
Okay. Number 15, Texarkana at Arkadelphia. I've got Arkadelphia by 7.
I've got Arkadelphia by 8.
Okay. Number 16, Hamburg at McGee, but be McGee's first contest of the season. They moved up a classification. I've got McGee, the Owls, by 8.
I've got them by 2 just because I don't have any idea what they're going to put on the field.
Sure. Number 17, Wynn at Fort Smith Southside. I'm going to go with Southside in this one by 3.
I went Southside by 4. It'll be interesting to see how this doesn't shake out,
Yeah.
but it's going. They're going to have a tough time running the ball on Southside, I think.
Yeah. Number 18, another game here I'm excited about to see the outcome of this one. Farmington traveling across the town there to Rogers, 7A Rogers. I'm going to go with Rogers in this one by 4.
They got to drive by Torchy's Tacos.
Hopefully they don't stop.
I would.
That wouldn't be good.
I wouldn't show up at the game. Hey, I thought we might differ on this one. I'm gonna give Farmington the nudge here.
Really?
Yeah, okay. I got Farmington by 3. What'd you pick Rogers by?
4.
Okay.
Number 19, this is an old 5A West matchup, but now they're in different conferences. Valonia at Morrilton. I've got I'm going to go with the Dogs here by 3.
I got Motown by 4.
Okay. Number 20, Bryant at Parkview. Man, this one
Do
here,
it. Do it.
I can't do it. I just can't. I'm gonna go with.
You had that look like
I'm just gonna go with Bryant by 7.
I'm going with Bryant by 14. I mean, I would love to see it be a close game.
Yeah. All right, number 21, Sylvan Hills at Benton. I'm gonna go with Benton by 10.
I got Benton by 12.
Okay. 22, El Dorado at Marion. I'm going Marion in this one by 3.
I took Marion by 6.
Okay. Number 23, Little Rock Christian at Lake Hamilton. We'll see how Christian's stepping up a classification, playing a pretty dominant 5A or 6A school here in Lake Hamilton. It'll be a more physical game for them.
For sure.
But I am still going to go with Little Rock Christian by 10.
I got Little Rock Christian by 18.
Okay.
I think they're going to handle it.
Wow. Number 24, Siloam Springs and Greenbrier, the Battle of the Panthers. Siloam Springs will have to make about a 3.5-hour trip to Faulkner County, and I'm going to go with the Panthers of Greenbrier by 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Greenbrier by 1. I just have not been impressed so far with what I've seen over there at Siloam Springs, so I think that it could go either way.
It could, very well could.
But I do think the Panthers have the edge in this one.
Okay, and then our last game for week 2 will be Fayetteville at Northside. Should be a very good ball game here. I think Northside's a very physical team based on what we saw from Greenwood with them against Greenwood last week. But I am going to go with the Purple Dogs in this one by 1.
You're just trying to lose again, aren't you? I got Northside by 8.
Do you now?
The Grizzlies, son.
I love it. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 games.
Wasn't many.
Different. No.
It only took 4 for me to beat you last week.
That's right. That's right. And the Hail Mary. All right. So that will talk about the old Hogs, baby.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Huge win. I mean, you listen to people on the radio and they think we should have won by 84. But the fact is we were ranked 19th. They were 23rd.
Hey, listen.
They've
Vegas had it at 6.5. We won by 7. So, I mean,
right?
They're not wrong very often.
No, they're not. And they've been beat twice in the last 2 years. One was Alabama, one was Georgia.
Yeah.
Now they've been beat 3 times in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And one of them's Alabama, one's Georgia, one's Arkansas.
And outside of their bowl game, they probably won't lose again this year.
That's right.
So,
and us beating them, they may not lose their bowl game.
That's right. That's right. So, I think there's some things that I was a little bit disappointed in coming out of that ball game, but you always are week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always things to work on.
I think everybody was disappointed in the pass coverage.
Yeah.
But what disappointed me the most was not that somebody gets beat so much, but we did not jam a receiver at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And if you don't jam and you just let them run by you and get beat deep, that is 100% your fault.
Well, and what frustrated me about that whole deal, it almost took me back to the Chad Morris era.
Yes.
Like when guys were just out there running wide open. Like we hadn't seen that the last couple of years.
No, we haven't. And to be fair, our 2 probably best defensive players were on the sidelines for the second half.
Very true.
When we really got burned.
I was a little bit I guess maybe I just had bigger expectations for our offensive line. I was a little bit disappointed in their play. But there again, I think Cincinnati's defensive line was pretty solid.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'll say this too about our D-backs. Jalen Catalan, he's not going to be a great cover guy.
Yeah,
he's just not.
Sure,
he's going to knock your head off. He got hosed again on that. Did you see that? He didn't drop down and hit them in the legs.
No.
That's terrible.
I know.
But and then I saw that kid from LSU last night headbutt the quarterback, and I'm thinking Jalen Catalan's got to be watching TV going, that is illegal.
Right. Yeah.
But Catalan's not going to be your cover guy.
Sure.
So he might get beat, but he's going to make so many other plays that it's going to make up for it. Now, Slusher, I think he can do anything.
Yeah, and then Bumper Pool and Sanders, I think Bumper had like 13, 14 tackles.
He's great. So Sanders was impressive. But, hey, our defensive line really impressed.
Yes, me too. I was very impressed with them. But good win first week. It's like Coach Pittman said to him after the game. He said, the good thing about it, guys, is we don't have to learn from losing anymore.
That's right.
We learn from winning now.
That's
exactly
right.
There's a lot of things we can get better at. So don't ever come in here after a win with your head down. Like, we're going to get better.
Well, it's on all levels of football, there's a reason why teams continually win and teams continually lose.
That's right.
Because if you're a loser, you're just a loser.
Well, it's just the culture that's built around the program. and he's
100%.
totally changed it. Totally changed it.
100%.
So big win there first week for the Hogs. They will play at home again this week. 11 o'clock kick. Dadgummit. I hate 11 o'clock
I do
kicks.
too. I'd be right during the middle of a Pee Wee football game.
You sure will. But we got South Carolina coming into town, and not really knowing what to expect out of South Carolina. They beat a Georgia State team last week, 35-14, which was not really an impressive win.
No.
Rattler, he's always had a lot of hype, even coming out of high school. Went to Oklahoma and things.
He's a head case.
Things didn't work out well there for him, and threw 2 picks last week. So I don't.
He needs a box of tissues everywhere he goes.
I agree with that.
Oh my goodness, wears me out.
But I hope we get after him. I got the Hogs in this one. I think we win this one by 10.
Yeah, I think if we win this game by 10, we should be happy with that.
Yeah.
I think they're better than they've been.
Yeah, they
and
are.
I think we're going to have to. Every week's going to be a game this year.
Absolutely.
Even playing Missouri State, they're going to play competitive.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're going to have to sell out every week, and we can't have any people getting hurt.
All right, so excited about that. UCA, we had Petrino come into town and put UCA took one on the chin a little bit.
But that was kind of expected.
Yeah.
Missouri State was
top five.
FCS
top 5.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, I didn't get to watch the game, but heard they had some dudes, some good looking players.
Oh yeah.
So
they hit that quarterback one time. It hurt me.
I didn't think he's going to get up.
I didn't either.
But it doesn't get any easier for UCA.
Hey, Logan Jessup had to start off with the season with the sack.
Did he?
That kid is something else.
He's awesome, man. Great kid.
Good kid.
Doesn't get any easier for the old Bears this week.
No, they got to go over to Oxford and visit Lane.
Yeah, the Lane train.
The Lane train.
But yeah, they'll play over at Ole Miss this Saturday at 6 o'clock. Nothing.
Hey, I forgot to tell you that I heard that Bobby P was signing autographs over at the Tue Sep Harley Davidson place.
He was.
That's what I heard. That's just what I heard. I didn't witness it myself. I think Eric King might have told me that. I don't know.
Oh, you can't listen to anything he tells you. All right, so man, hey, nothing would make me happier than for UCA to upset
Ole Miss. Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'd love it.
So awesome. Oh, Hendricks, we're gonna give them a little love this week. They got the opening victory against Austin College, 20-0. Our old Greenbrier Panther, Jacob Mathis, recorded his first collegiate reception in that ball game. So,
did you see the total yardage that team had against?
I did not.
Oh, it was like none.
Really?
I mean, I forgot, but they absolutely shut them down.
Well, I was talking to Coach Phillips, their offensive coordinator, Friday night, and he said that they run like a triple option, and he said they don't really have the players to run a triple option. So
they ain't got 3 options, do they?
Right. So good win for them. They go on the road this week to play Washington College in St. Louis, Missouri. So they'll be on the road the next 2 weeks. So good win there for Hendricks. And then your Bisons, good win.
Man, that was a great win. You go on the road. That's a game, I believe that's the game they lost last year in conference and still won the conference. But they go on the road over to East Central Oklahoma and pick up a 29-12 win. Look good doing it. Cole Keeline, Harrison boy.
That's right.
It's fun. I was thinking about this when I watched the game Saturday Thursday night. It was Thursday night. Sorry. I watched the game after Clint's football practice, and when I realized Keeline was playing, I thought, it's so much fun when you literally get to watch a kid mature and grow up in the sport.
Absolutely.
That kid doesn't know me. He wouldn't know me if he saw me. Sure. I don't know him or his dad, but I've watched him play in person.
We big fans of him.
Big fans of him, but we've watched him play for 3 years now, and it's just pretty special.
It is a lot of fun to see those kids. So now going into our 3rd year, we're really starting to see some of them, getting up into 2nd, 3rd year in college and getting some playing time. It's really cool.
I think I called his dad Kyle last week, and it's Chris.
I got you. He'd probably
forgive me.
All right. Well, you got anything else, my man?
A-State beat Grambling 58-3.
Oh, yeah. Well.
In other news.
In other news.
But they're going to Ohio State this week. So, good luck, Butch.
Good luck going to the U.
Yeah.
All right. So, you've got some really good news over there because we're going to announce our players of the week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got great news.
Yeah.
Great news. So this was hard.
This is tough, and it always is tough. And, guys, we just urge you to please send us some stats because they're hard to come by. And that's what we want to do is we want to recognize these kids. And so the more stats we got, the better. And, we're just basing the players of the week on what we have. I'm sure there were –
That's it. There may be guys that should have won.
Sure.
But we got what we got.
That's right.
So – do you want me to go through all of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man, I get to do the whole thing.
Get to do them all.
Woo-hoo. All right, 7A, Conway's Boogie Carr. 21 carries, 221 yards, rush, and 3 touchdowns, 6 catches for 86 yards. 6A, Walker White, Little Rock Christian.
Man, what a game.
What a game, 6 touchdowns. 5A, Cameron Van Zant at Farmington, 11 for 13, 284, 3 touchdowns. That's efficient.
Yes,
guys.
sir.
4A, well, this one was hard to pick here. Ended up going with Sloan Parent at Nashville. 13 carries, 211 yards, 4 touchdowns, then throwing the ball 9 for 13 for 142 for another touchdown. That's just hard to beat.
Yeah.
3A, Brandon Scott at Charleston, 10 for 15, 176 yards passing, touchdown, 16 carries, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that takes us to 2A. And this is where we really struggle to get stats. So,
yes.
2A coaches, we try to give a lot of attention to the smaller schools.
That's right.
And so we really need you guys to send us stats if you can. But Jason Sullivan over at Carlisle, 4 carries, 4 touchdowns, 205 yards.
Yeah.
Impressive.
That's hard to beat.
So that's this year's 2022 first Player of the Week award.
Yeah, and so what we're going to do, just like we did last year, is we're going to recognize those players and send them out a Between the Mats.
We'll have to get a new design, won't we?
Yeah, we'll change it up a little bit.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Send them a T-shirt, and just once you get that, if you would, just take a picture with you and your head coach, and hit us up on Twitter.
That's what's fun, man. And I know some of these kids probably get a lot of awards, and it don't mean a whole lot, but some of them it means something to. I remember when I was in school, man. If I would have got this right here, even though we're nobodies, it would have been awesome. I'd have been like, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, man, good job this week. Another exciting week coming up in high school sports and college. So, man, it just gets better from here.
Oh, man, I'm so pumped. I can't wait to watch Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Hey, we got NFL coming up. Is it next week?
I think so.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
We got a game tonight.
Do we really?
Clemson plays tonight at 6.
That's right. Wake Forest.
And the Cardinals baseball's going on right now.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. That used to be a big game.
Yeah.
Back when Georgia Tech played football.
That's right. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all listening, and we will check y'all next week.
Later on.
You've been listening to Between the Mats, your year-round source for Arkansas high school sports with Matt McJunkins and Matt Wilcox. Produced by Carl Spears, and special thanks to our sponsor, American Safeguard Insurance. I'm JB Brazil. Be sure to join us next week for another episode of Between the Mats.